Multiplication rule. From the definition of conditional probability, the probability of f given E is equal to the probability of E intersection f divided by the probability of E. We get the so-called general multiplication rule, which applies to all events. So this is the general multiplication rule. If E and f are events, then the probability of E intersection f is the probability of E multiplied by the probability of f given E. Or the probability of E and f is equal to the probability of E multiplied by the probability of f given E. If E and f are independent events, this becomes the same definition of independent events. So multiplication rule for independent events. If E and f are independent events, then the probability of E intersection f is the probability of E multiplied by the probability of f, or the probability of E and f is the probability of E multiplied by the probability of f. A box contains 5 red, 7 yellow and 4 blue discs. Discs are drawn successively, which means one after the other, from the box and not replaced. This is very important, they are not replaced. Part 1. What is the probability that the first 3 discs are yellow, blue, yellow in that order? So clearly the probabilities of the outcomes for the second and subsequent discs are dependent on what went before. But if we understand that P bracket second blue bracket stands for the probability that the second disc drawn is blue after the first is yellow, then we can use the multiplication law for independent events, and likewise with the probability of the third being yellow. So we're going to add up our discs. We have 5 red, 7 yellow, 4 blue, so we have 16 in total. So we're interested in the probability that we have the first yellow and the second blue and the third yellow. So this means first yellow multiplied by second blue multiplied by third yellow. So the probability that the first disc is yellow is 7 over 16, because there are 7 yellow discs over a total of 16. So if we take out a yellow disc, we only have 15 discs remaining. So the probability that the second disc is blue is 4 over 15, because we were given 4 discs, but we only have 15 left, because 16 minus 1 is 15. And now we're interested in the probability that the third disc is yellow. So at this point we have taken out 2 discs so far, so we're left with 14 discs. And remember, on the first occasion we took out a yellow disc, so 7 take away 1 is 6, because there's 1 yellow already gone. So the probability that the third disc is yellow is 6 over 14. 7 over 16 multiplied by 4 over 15 multiplied by 6 over 14 is 1 over 20. So this is the probability that the first 3 discs are yellow, blue, yellow in that order. Part 2. What is the probability that the first blue disc is the 4th disc drawn from the box? If the first blue disc is the 4th drawn, then the first 3 discs must be non-blue, i.e. red or yellow. So the probability that the 4th disc drawn is the first blue is equal to the probability of the first non-blue multiplied by the probability of the second non-blue multiplied by the probability third non-blue multiplied by probability fourth blue. So the probability of the first disc being non-blue, so that means that it's either red or yellow. There are 5 red, 7 yellow, and 5 plus 7 is 12 non-blue discs over a total of 16 blue discs. This is multiplied by the second disc being non-blue. Well, if the second disc is non-blue and the first disc was non-blue, then we've already taken out one of the non-blue discs. So we've already taken out a red or a yellow. So we had 12 non-blue discs, and 12 take away 1 is 11, so now we have 11 left over out of a total of 15, because remember we took out 1 disc already, and 16 minus 1 is 15. Then the probability of the third disc being non-blue is going to be 10 over 14, because we took out this and this, leaving us with 10. So 11 take away 1 is 10. And that's going to be over 14, because we took out this one and this one. So it's over a total of 14. And that's going to be multiplied by the probability that the fourth disc is blue. So there's 4 blue discs, so our numerator is 4, over a total of 13. So 14 take away 1 is 13. So remember, we took out this one, this one, this one, so we're left with 13. So times 4 over 13. So 12 over 16 times 11 over 15 times 10 over 14 times 4 over 13 is 11 over 91. So because we were told that it was not replaced, that's why the numbers reduced by 1 each time. Because each time a disc was taken, it was not replaced.